Oh,
Yeah.
Rob Evans is off sick, and you know, Ken's not playing this weekend, so he's getting a well-earned break. So for the Six Nations, so it's just fitting in guys into positions they may not have had a lot of game time. I don't know if you can imagine in the loose forwards there. Oh, he's off work today, sick. Yeah. So hopefully he'll be back Thursday. Took a bit of a knock to a leg actually, so probably wouldn't have trained today anyway. But we're hoping he'll be right by Thursday. Well, 10 international level players out. There was talk in the media about they had 4 players out. I don't know why that was an issue. So we had 10 out. So I thought, it was a solid performance. It was a lot closer to the sort of rugby that we're accustomed to and the fans are accustomed to seeing. So that was pleasing to score a few tries and just to see the desire to attack back with the boys. There's a lot more urgency in our game, a lot more tempo. So that was really pleasing. There's still a pressure because you get reminded. I think my interview before the game was, you've won one game in so many or whatever. So there's always that gentle prod and reminder. So there's an expectation that every time we take the field, to win matches of rugby. So the fact that there was no qualification on it, I guess that's out of the way. But the boys put the pressure on themselves to perform, and as a group. So we want to win every game when we take the field. It's as simple as that. And this weekend's no different. So look, I think there's a lot of internal pressure to perform on individuals and collectively as a group, and the boys responded really, really well. So the last couple of weeks we've just improved our game bit by bit, and we'd like to improve some more this weekend. Yeah, and there's sometimes it's the way the opposition plays, and we look back at the Ospreys game and we got sucked into a game of ping pong, and we talked after that game that's the last time this season that'll happen. And even though the scoreboard was a poor reflection of the performance against the Blues, we had a lot more possession and territory, and we've built week on week out in terms of that respect. And I think the free-flowing rugby has always been our intent, and we just went away from it a bit. But it was good to see those tries, as I say, on the weekend, and I think you saw the reaction from the fans too. They enjoyed it, and that's what we're about. John will captain the side. He's very keen to get out there and put in a strong performance and lead the side. He had a week off a couple of weeks ago. Gareth had last week, and 2 weeks ago. Foxy last week, and now Ken this week. So just sort of rotating that around. So no, we're going there with a view of having a strong performance, and that's what we'd like to do. We've started the new year well. We want that to continue in terms of the type of performance we're looking for. No, I think it's about we've got a job to do. It's a European match, regardless of whether we can qualify or not. It's the biggest game the boys play outside of Test matches. So we're in a fantastic new stadium that the boys haven't played in before, and that in itself is going to be something to look forward to. And this is a very, very good side we're up against. We've played them once already, and a little bit of luck goes their way, we would have won that game. So we want to go out there and put in a strong performance, as I say, and I think it's a good lead into the Six Nations for the players that will be involved. And we monitor the minutes they play, and at the moment the boys' bodies are feeling good, and we want to kick on with that performance. And I think it's important for the group that we take some confidence out of this game and finish the European segment in a strong manner. And last week was a good first half of this group of 2 games. Yeah, I was hoping they'd win that, and then they were done and dusted and where they wanted to be. I think clearly they want to be in the top 4 and get home advantage, and so they'll want to finish strong in front of their home fans. There's no doubt about that. So we know we're in for a big game. We know the conditions are going to be fantastic. So we're looking forward to hopefully an entertaining game, which hopefully will suit us. They've got a big pack, no matter what combination they put out. They've got a lot of depth to call on and a lot of experience. So regardless of the combinations. I think we'll just approach it like we did Leicester Tigers, and that is work solidly. We've got to focus on ourselves because, again, there's a little bit of change in the loose forwards. So, in the ones that are there, there's been sort of 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 of all for different reasons. We've had to work very, very hard during the week to get some, I guess, some continuity into our play and lineouts in particular working. So, again, we'll be focusing on our group this week, but we know that they'll be strong, whoever they put out. Dav Hughes will come into the group, young Dav, not as a hooker. So he'll be training as a loose forward, taking Ken's slot. But Josh McLeod has had another week under his belt, so the chances are Josh will start this week at number 8 and replace Ken, and young Dav will take a slot on the bench. No change. I think last week we said he's 3 to 5 weeks, somewhere in that range, yeah, he's at training. So, well, I know he's worked on them because we're up there together, and it's constant work-ons. All the players have constant work-ons. It's Steph's doing a lot of work on his aerial game. Teams have targeted us in that area. I think Leicester Tigers in the first round match got 7 of 8 aerial kicks back against us, and that's a massive amount of possession. This week I think they had seven aerial goes and got 4 back, and we got 3, so it was an improvement. Still a bit of work to do in that area, clearly. Defensively, there's constant work to be done by a lot of players, and Steph's one of them. I thought it was an improved performance by Steph, and he'll get another opportunity this week. Oh, look, fly half was a cameo over a couple of weeks. We wanted to tighten up that channel where teams were just sort of a knife through butter, really, and it was hurting us on the scoreboard. So he did that, and no one came through that channel while he was there. So he did a job for us. Midfield-wise, Hadley's working hard at his game. He's probably in new territory where he's an international player and getting the balance right across the season. If you speak to Hadley, he knows that he's probably not playing his vintage best, but I don't think he's too far away either. I think in recent weeks he's started to get to grips with the old Hadley, and I think he's not too far off. He has, and we always knew that we had a lot of strength and depth in the midfield position. You throw Paul Asquith in the mix. Steph Hughes has done a good job for us when the internationals have been away, so we're blessed in that area. And Fons, I think you saw on the weekend, had a very, very strong game, and he's going to be integral over this Six Nations period for us. So we're very pleased to have all those guys in the mix. Yeah, when you look at the squad we've got on paper, and you looked at sort of 2 European matches, I think derbies, another couple of European matches. They would ordinarily not be down in those matches because we've got internationals ahead of them. But it is what it is, and the good thing about it is a lot of those guys have over the weeks have been learning and improving. And Dan Davis, I think on the weekend just gone, Ed Kennedy both stood up and had strong matches, and I think Josh Helps has done really well, and so that bodes well for the future of the club. Those guys getting that experience, and sometimes you've got to take a little bit of pain for long-term gain, and that's certainly the way we've approached it. And those guys have benefited from the game time, and they're loving life. They're learning a lot. Senior players are putting them under pressure during the week to make sure that they've got their roles nailed down, and there's a lot for them to learn and take in. And all things being equal, I thought they've done a good job. Yeah, an exact date in March hasn't been penciled in yet, but hopefully sometime in March, yeah. No, we'll be chatting to Johnny again. We're talking to him on a regular basis, obviously, and I think it's well documented that we'll probably chat more at the end of this month. No, Blade, I don't think Blade will be playing for a few more weeks yet. But again, it's how long's a piece of string is very, very difficult with a head injury. So I know I sound like a broken record, but I can't really give you a definitive date. Every time I say a couple of weeks, players are set back, and so all we can say is that the testing that goes on and the players' well-being is what the medical team are looking after, and we've got to obviously respect that, and we won't put him out there until he's ticked all the boxes.